Hello, hello, and welcome back to Griftlands. Last time, we completed Sal. This time, we're gonna play as Rook. Rook has a completely different campaign and different mechanics than Sal and different cards, which is awesome. We're still going to be doing Prestige 6, even though I super died as Sal last time. But we persevere. Okay, we persevere. I also had some disadvantages as Sal that I didn't realize due to me installing a mod that made it so that it appeared as though I was playing Sal for the first time, so that you guys could like see the Sal introductory cutscene properly. And unfortunately, what that does is it prevents you from getting your starting bonus for the run. So I didn't have that, and then it also prevented me from getting an extra quest line, which would have helped a lot. But this time we won't have that problem because Rick doesn't have that problem just ever. So, my perks for the run. I'm still gonna go with unencumbered to counter Prestige 6, which I guess we can go through Prestige 6 once again. Remember, you can't restart the day when dying. Non-boss enemies have upgraded abilities, and negotiation opponents have improved arguments. Non-boss enemies are stronger in battle. Negotiation opponents have increased resolve and damage, and bosses are stronger in battle. Resolve is no longer restored after battle, and you only heal 50% of your HP and resolve when you sleep. Allies are weaker in battle, and species boons are more powerful. Bosses are also even stronger. You start with 20% less max health and resolve, and everything costs 25% more shills, and you start with 1 fewer battle and negotiation graph slots. That's Prestige 6. But I still get to keep all my metal. My perks. I am using unencumbered to block Prestige 6 bullshit from being annoying. I'm using Agent Warrior because I think that this is actually really helpful for surviving the early game. And Alert is just super good. It's Bag of Prep / Ring of the Snake. For both battles and negotiations, it's just really powerful. There are other really powerful perks, like this perk that allows you to have multiple pets. This is only good, I think, at lower prestige, though. Sorry, I'm yawning. This is only really good at lower prestige because pets cost money. They cost a lot of money, and I just don't think that I can afford a second pet, which is you know good. There's other good stuff. I don't really like forgiveness, but I do like there's one that's like a new person loves you at the end of each day. Yeah, at the start of each day, a random person that likes you will love you instead. This is really good, actually. It was a really good ability. So there's some fun things. All right. Let us begin as Rook.
You bear the brunt of the world when you wear a soldier's uniform. So you turned yours in and left the Admiralty. But even out of uniform, your name still carries the weight of your medals. Captain Rook, the veteran, the hero, the saboteur, the spy. These days, you freelance, and you're on your way to a job in Grout Bog, where the Spark Barons plumb the ruins looking for forgotten treasures. The bugs are hard to spot, but they bleed you dry if you let them. Seems like you'll fit in just fine.
There we go. There's a little introduction to Rook. Rook actually starts with an extra graph slot compared to Sal. And I will say Rook's, I think Rook's campaign is longer than Sal's, like much longer. But I digress. The land around Groutbog squelches with mud, hungry for legs as well as boots. The only road leads to a gate, flanked by armed security. A Spark Baron guards the steps into the path as you approach.
Okay.
Sorry, a Spark Baron guard steps into the path as you approach. Jesus. I have to sneeze. I have to sneeze. Ah! I'm back. I've sneezed. Let's continue. This is Fallopalo. Fallopalo's brood is likely disappointed in his choice of career, considering Fallopalo was the name of a famous Hessian priest. Stop right there. This bog is closed, especially to grifters like you. Unless you pay the processing fee, then maybe I could see considering your petition for entry. Immediately, I'm going to get a free negotiation as Rook. Opponent has -6 resolve because Falapalo isn't good at his job. Or we can pay the bribe, which is stupid. Forgive me for being skeptical of this fee. In fact, I'd like to speak to your supervisor. Hopefully he doesn't sound exactly like Hulo. Okay, so Rook has a different core argument than Sal, and that changes a lot of his mechanics for negotiation. So, Rook's core argument is spare coin. Whenever the coin is flipped on heads, you apply 1 composure to a random friendly argument. In this case, we only have 1 argument. It's our core 1, so we get it to our core argument. On snails, we deal 1 damage to a random opponent argument. How do we flip the coin? We use this card, or cards that say this keyword, gamble, which is flip your coin. So, that's the major mechanic of Rook. Depending on what head of the, or what face of the coin is up, we get different effects. If snails was up, Grumble would gain 1 bonus damage. Because heads is up, pleasantries deals max damage, as though we have influence. So that's kind of the vibe of how Rook works. I'm going to play pleasantries to start. I would like to play Rationale, but first I'm going to play both of my Collets. Okay, I'll play 1 Collet, we'll Grumble, then we'll Gamble again, and I'll play Composure. Oh, this guy's core argument. At the start of Falapala's turn, he will steal 2 of our cards and put them in a bounty. So we can get them back if we do 2 damage to the bounty. I'm going to gamble to try and get heads up. I did not. That's okay. I will play Pleasantries to get those cards back. Falapalo gains 1 composure for each hostility card that you draw. He also incepted vulnerability when we got our stuff back. I am going to try and not lose resolve here. So I'm going to apply composure twice. Aw, damn, he's taken 2 defensive cards. That really sucks. He's also attacking us 3 times, which super sucks. He's also giving us vulnerability, so we gotta be careful about that. We do have a lot of rationale in the hand. I'm gonna call it. Oh, this card is just like Sal's improvised card. It does a very similar thing. Him destroying this does not bother me. What bothers me is the amount of damage I'm going to take. And because we're not fatigued yet, it kind of behooves me to play as many rationales as possible. God damn, you keep stealing my defensive cards, bro. I don't like that. That annoys me. Stop it. Stop stealing my defensive cards. I really want to go for the throat and, like, actually kill him. So I think I might take some damage here. Yeah, I'm going to play Pleasantries to actually do some damage to him. Okay, we got the Composure side. That's good. I'll play another Rationale. We're going to take 1 point of damage here because of the vulnerability. But we need to kill him pretty soon. Because we're going to get fatigued soon. Not yet, though. Which is kind of crazy. Scruple. When destroyed, Falapalo loses half of their resolve. That's not very useful. God damn it. Okay, we're gonna take a little bit more damage. That's fine. I'm not worried about it. And we gained a bunch of EXP. That's the important thing. But we are fatigued, so it's time to kill him. As quickly as we can. This is gonna be a gamble. Okay, I can't kill him this turn, so I guess we block. We can't kill him this turn, so I guess we block. But he's gonna keep stealing our cards, which is bad. He fucking got rid of both of our gambles. That's okay, we got a grumble. Okay, we got him. So that's sort of your introduction to negotiating as Rook. You get to pick a negotiation card. Snag, discard a card. This is sticky. Obligation, prepare a card and gain influence equal to its cost. This is very good. This is one of the very few ways that you can actually gain influence as Rook. And snail in the pocket. Set the coin to snails and discard a card. That's also really good. All of these are actually really good. I like snag a lot because it becomes an offering token slash prepared slash rummage that stays in your hand once it's upgraded. And discarding cards is actually quite good. But I'm going to take obligation because I want to try, because this seems to be the most useful card, and I want to try doing an influence deck. Now, we took Ancient Warrior, which means immediately, we get to upgrade our obligation. So now it's boosted obligation, and we will gain influence equal to the card's cost +1, which is very, very good. So we'll get, at minimum, 1 influence if we prepare a call it, but we won't be preparing call it. But preparing a card, what does that mean? It means you move the card to the leftmost position in your hand, and certain cards do extra things when they are prepared. So that's something to also consider when we take more cards. Well, do you want to get your superiors involved? Heh, they just double the fee. But fine, Grifter, have it your way. But you better have some work papers, else the only thing I'm authorized to give you is a kick in the seat. I've been on the road a long time. Let me rest these old bones a minute while I get my bearings. You've got 5 minutes. We're strict no loitering policy. As I recall, Groutbog was once a prospector's dream. This seems very bureaucratic. You kidding? It's been under Spark Baron regulation for a good 20 years at least. A little piece of paradise away from the Admiralty and the cult. Paradise for whom? Well, the Barons, of course, not so much the contracted labor. They have to dig up the tech, and the bog isn't a forgiven place. Between the pitfalls and the grockets, most don't make it to the end of their terms. Ah, that sounds unpleasant. No kidding. The road out of here is right behind you, Grifter. So, the gate is to keep unlicensed rogues from plundering the dig site. Sure. Not that most people would have the guts to try. The digs are for old tech, from the Vagrant Age. Half of it explodes the second it oxidizes. The ancient era, during which the planet was colonized by spacefarers. Only Barons got the know-how to dig it up safely and weaponize it. Got to profit somehow. But the gates are mostly here to keep laborers in. I see. That's slightly worrying. I assume the Spock Barons are the law of land, then. They're the ones paying everyone's bills, aren't they? Routbog's operations manager is a former Admiralty officer, even, so he knows a thing or two about authority. That would be Leland Felimo, yes? The Kradeshi. Huh? Yeah, that's right. You heard of him? He and I are old friends, actually. Though we were each 20 years younger when our friendship took root. Time will tell how well it's weathered. Ha! If you say so, Grifter. And what about the laborers, then? I've heard whispers of some worker rebellions rising up in the breadfields. Yeah, it's rot that is. A real sickness. And it's spread to Groutbog. Half the workers are a sneeze away from open revolt. So we don't need folks like you coming in and stirring up trouble. Then who should I avoid? That's the problem. They keep their cards close. Wily-like. The leader could even be a foreman for all we know. So are you going to give me your papers, or am I going to give you a very bad day? No need for hostilities, friend. I'm here by invitation. See for yourself if you like. You pull the signed work visa from an oilskin wallet you carry for such purposes. Huh, looks legit. Who exactly are you meant to report to? So, we have an option of a card, kind of like the card that we got from Ulo, when he picked a faction. But this card does not lock you into any particular faction. You just get to pick one. So, we have a negotiation card called Blacklist. It's a 2 damage, 2 cost card that does Take Names. Playing this card against a new unique character adds their name to the list, and it gains 1 damage for each name taken. So every time we negotiate with a new character when we play this card at them, it becomes more powerful. Really, really good. Although a 2 cost, 2 damage card by base is not very good. But it gets stronger the more we play it. And you're here to dig. Shovel. Deal 2 bonus damage per empty cell. Gain 2 defense per charge. Expend. This card is really, really powerful for battle. And really, really helpful to keep you from dying. What does charge and empty cell mean? There is no good way to point that out to you until we get into a fight. But it's fine. I'm very tempted by Blacklist, especially since it's a high-cost card. It synergizes well with Boosted Obligation. But Shovel is also really good because it will keep us alive. Because it gives you defense when you might not otherwise have defense. I am going to take Blacklist, I think. You'll report to Felimo, the Spark Baron. Do I look like a common laborer to you? I'm reporting to Lelin Felimo directly. Felimo? No way someone like you. His eyes glance down at your work visa again, and this time he reads the fine print. I mean, of course you are, sir. We better hurry this along. Felimo doesn't like to be kept waiting. Gain the negotiation card Blacklist. I still gotta search you, though. You got anything to declare? You rummage through your backpack, showing Falapalo the contents. You've got only one thing worth declaring, though. 100 extra shills, 2 lumen grenades, and a slapdash surgery, which will give us an extra battle graph slot. This is basically trading long-term power for short-term gain. I'm gonna take the slapdash surgery because it's really good. That's all, eh? I suppose it's fine. I don't suppose you know what kind of book Felimo might have for me? How the heck should I know? Things are getting rough with the workers, though. They want more rights, better pay. Maybe Felimo wants you to work security and shut down their union before it starts. I see. That makes sense. And what if I would prefer to find other work? Like Felimo's expecting you, I wouldn't want to disappoint him. But there's always more work to be had in the bog. You could check in with a foreman named Calandra. She's not too strict and might take pity on an old fogey like you. She's a rise organizer, apparently. Charming. So am I free to go? Yeah, whatever. Thank you, officer. It's been a pleasure. But don't try anything funny in there. You go through the gate, but you feel like Falapala will miss you when you're gone. So, we can either report to Calandra, or we can report to Felimo. I'm going to report to Felimo. As you enter the official-looking building, you're stopped by an armed guard. Stay right where you are, Grifter, and state your business. Show Mirkat your papers. The official sort, my good soldier. Nothing to fret about. You show Mirkat your signed papers. He somehow studies them while still fixing you with a suspicious glare. This checks out. Very well. You step inside. So we've got a bunch of people here. We've got Mirkat the guard, the patron, Del. Word is, Del fights for his workers, but nobody's ever really selfless in the Griftlands, right? To talk business, I hope. Yeah. If you have questions, talk to Felimo. Felimo is easy to recognize, even though the years have been a little too kind to him. You spot him lapping at a drink like a contented salamander. I see you've gone up in the world since discharging, eh, rookie? Rook, you old scoundrel. You finally made it. Figured you'd be able to move faster than that, even that bum leg of yours. Darktown's a long way from here, Felimo. And that's Captain Rook to you, even if we're both retired. I'll call you your Royal Highness if you can get the job done. Enough fiddle faddle. Let's get you to work so you can see what I'm up against. You might note I haven't actually agreed to the job yet. You hardly provided much information, just a slapdash cipher that any fool could decode. I don't have time for codes anymore, Captain. I've gone further than the Admiralty could have taken out either of us. At the same time, I'll say very well. I'll answer your questions. The least I can do. The last I heard from you, it was a Rentoria raids must have been 15 years ago. At the time, they told us you were killed in action, but we all knew better. I should hope so. When did you hear otherwise? After I joined the Barons, one of the Reds mentioned they knew you. Well, knew your cover, but I'd have recognized it everywhere. I said to my superiors, you know, you want someone and who can cut to the quick? We should recruit Rook. And how did that go over? Unfortunately, it's far easier to need a spy than it is to trust one. But times have changed, and you're being given a chance. What service can I provide the illustrious Spark Barons? If it's to act as a liaison with the Admiralty, I'm afraid I was dishonorably discharged. Oh, I heard. Or Unity. Are you familiar with a little movement called the Rise? It's out in the bread fields, isn't it? Labor disputes, something of that cut. Well, this group of union organizers and freedom fighters campaigning for workers' rights across Bavaria. It's migrated. Some of the contractors have cottoned on to that scheme. I want this handled in a way that doesn't leave an indiscriminate body count. Define indiscriminate, please. Use your judgment. If someone needs to be put down, so be it. But we can't make a profit without laborers to do the work. What sort of authority will I wield while I do this work? Ha! I beg your pardon, Captain, but you'll have as much authority as I see fit to lend you. And for the moment, that means just about none. Yeah. Got something in my mouth. It's nothing personal, of course. I still respect you tremendously. Yes, well, you never were one to pass up an opportunity. That's exactly right, Rook. I'm honored to remember. How dangerous are the Rise? They're murdering my physical reports, certainly, but the real threat to you is the bog itself. The bog? I had hostile terrain training. Yes, you used to be the best. With that leg of yours, no more, eh? Beasts and poison prey on flesh. Contaminants prey on metalworks. There's not a part of you that won't find something from the bog unpleasant. And the Rise will use that against you, for certain. If you fail to be settled, that is. Or get cold feet, are you? Just being thorough. You know me. You wouldn't have called me out here if it weren't for something interesting. I'll take the job. Excellent. If there's anyone who can get to the bottom of this, it's you. I have a couple of things that need doing. We have caught in the chaos. Dilawano is being held for ransom by the Rise. Philomo wants you to get Dilawano out by whatever means necessary. And message control. Philomo wants you to scare off a Rise recruiter who's been sniffing around one of the work sites. We need to take fights. Desperately. So even though this gives me 5 less money, I'm going to go for Caught in the Chaos. This one requires the utmost discretion. Of course. Frankly, it's insulting you to even specify. Your track record has been pretty, shall we say, pretty spotty as of late, no? And I'm the client, so I'll set the parameters that I see fit. Indeed. Carry on, then. There was a small upset in one of the work camps today. We sent in the usual suppression force, and, well, the workers have been quelled, but the Rise have made off with a captive. A Baron captive. It would be one thing if it were just a foreman, but you can see how this would be damaging to the brand. Make the problem go away, won't you? Dilawano is being held for ransom by the Rise. Okay. Well, as we used to say, mission accepted. Glad to hear it. Whatever it takes, old chap, you understand? Just get Dilawano back, but discreetly. Oh, and perhaps we ought to take one of our auto dogs with you, just in case you get into a spot. It might pay to have Spot on hand, eh? Quite. So, an auto dog. This is a pet that you can get, but it is also just a... this is a temporary ally for this quest. So we don't have to worry about keeping it in good HP. We have Kibi here. You can buy Spark Gear and equipment from Kibi. Let's take a look at what she's got. Nano Lattice. Draw a card, gain 9 defense, and destroy after 2 uses. Not bad. Targeting Core. Apply Targeted. All non-player characters will prioritize this target. Very good. And Robodex. While this is in your hand, gain 1 temporary power whenever you draw a card. Not bad, but not necessary. And also too expensive either way. Alright. Let's get to getting. Fortunately, it's easy enough to find the Rise encampment, which means they're open to negotiation. After all, they know the bog better than you do. If they didn't want to be found, it'd have been much more of a challenge. Sure enough, you're not shot on sight. A Rise member approaches, weapon at hand, but not at the ready. What do you want, stranger? This part of the bog ain't exactly hospitable to gawkers. I've come seeking a Baron, actually. Dilawano. Or Dilano? Have you heard of her? What's it to ya? That doesn't seem like any of your business. So, we can negotiate with Wade, or we can beat the information out of them. I think, unfortunately, although it will make Wade dislike us, I think it's important to beat the information out of them because we need battle experience. Unfortunately for you, it very much is. And when I'm hired for a job, I'm very thorough. Oh, I see. You're working for the Barons. Then you'll be treated like one. Okay. Wade is a Shroak. So they gain 2 defense each turn the first time they take damage, which is fine. Some stuff about Rook and how Rook works. You can see these 4 things under Rook's bar. These are charges. Rook can store charge in his empty cells. Charge can be used by certain cards for certain additional effects. At the end of your turn, you gain 1 defend per empty cell, and at the start of your turn, you gain 1 charge. So if we spend 1 charge this turn, we'll gain 4 defend at the end of our turn. But Wade here isn't even attacking, so we don't really need to worry about that. But we do need to worry about EXP. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Hair Trigger to spend the charge. I'm going to play Blast, and then I'm going to play Ammo Pouch. This is another improvised card, just like Sal's Daggers, or Sal's Dirty Fighting, I think. So our 2 cards here, we have Mark. When you attack this target, gain 1 charge and reduce Mark by 1. Spend 1 charge, apply 2 burn, trace around. We don't have any charge anymore. And Yote Shot. Spend 1 charge, apply 1 wound. So maybe we should have not played Hair Trigger. But that's okay. We're going to play Laser Sight instead and apply a mark. So now we'll gain some extra charge when we attack them. This is a thing about the Bog. But the Bog will occasionally spawn a new weird thing that you can do damage to in every fight, as long as you're fighting outside. So that's something to think about, but not something I'm going to overly worry for. We have Crank here, gain 2 charge and gain 2 defense. This is a pretty good card if you want charge. The problem is that we don't really want to actually get too much charge because we gain defense for not having it. So I might skip playing Crank this turn. And I might also work on destroying this Spark Mine if I can. And when we destroy this, it will do more damage. And it seems to also gain explosive as we wait. So I think we're just going to leave it for a turn. Let's play Hair Trigger again on Wade. And we'll play Kick. You can also see that Rook, because of his charge, you can see that Rook doesn't get a lot of defense from Hunker Down in the way he gets less defense than Sal does. But I digress. Okay, we have a Grout Knuckle. This will disappear after 6 turns, and this thing has counter 8 if it gets attacked. And this is on our team for some reason. This is, again, a weirdness of the Grout Bog. So, we have 4 charge this turn, but we also have Crank. So what would happen if we play Crank? Well, let's find out. When you get gain charge, while you have maximum charge, you gain overcharge. Overcharge increases the max damage of all cards by 1 for each stack. Gaining charge while fully charged generates overcharge, but you reduce overcharge by half at the end of your turn. So there is a value to charging up a lot, even though there is also value to not having a lot of charge. So managing your charge is kind of the main mechanic for Rook. So right now, the max damage of both of our attacks has increased by 2, which is really, really good. So we're going to use them. Well, actually, I'm going to do Ammo Pouch. Aha! So we have Blowout. Spend all charge, deal 1 bonus damage per charge spent. That seems really good. Deep Breath. Gain 2 concentration and draw a card. Increases the minimum damage of all attacks by 1. Have your concentration when you take enemy damage. This is very, very, very good when you have a big overcharge build. I'm going to take Blowout because it does a lot of damage. And I'm going to play Blowout against the Burr, because it'll do 20 damage to Wade. Now, Wade is already about to go down from our auto dog. So we're going to just play Hair Trigger again to get more EXP on it, and we're going to accept their surrender. And we get to choose our first battle card, and remember, because of Ancient Warrior, this battle card will be fully upgraded if we choose to take one of these. Jolt. This card costs 1 less per overcharge. Sucker Punch. Empty. Deal 2 bonus damage and apply 1 impair. This only works if we have no charge. And Trick Shot. Threshold 8. Gain 8 counter. Activates an added effect if the damage is at or above the threshold number. So this would go well with anything that gives us concentration. None of these cards are good for us right now. We don't have a reliable way to empty all of our charge, so this doesn't help us very much. We don't have a reliable way to gain concentration, and we don't have a reliable way to gain overcharge. So I don't really want any of these cards, and I'm going to decline them, even though we're really weak right now with only our basic deck. Stop, please, you win, all right? She's not worth dying over. Wade gestures toward an inconspicuous spot in the tree line. There and there, but don't expect a warm welcome. I never do. You leave Wade behind and head inside. Excuse you? What do you think you're doing here? I'm here to pick up Delano. Boss's orders. This is the first I'm hearing of it. So, we can attack Mallow, but he'll dislike us. We can convince him to give us Delano. Or we can offer to trade Delano for our auto dog. We're going to attack him, again, because we want fights, and this guy is not hard, and we also have the auto dog to help right now. Fighting alone as Rook is super dangerous because he is very low max HP. I don't have time for all this idle chatter, I'm afraid. Just hand her over. You don't tell me what to do? Well, it's true what they say, yes? Show, don't tell. Much more evocative. So we're going to piss off a lot of the people in the Rise here, but it needs to be done. I'm going to start by playing Ammo Pouch. Spare Battery, gain 2 charge. Blowout, spend all charge, deal 1 bonus damage per charge expense. Or Trace Around, spend 1 charge and apply 2 burn. Burn! At the start of your turn, take damage equal to the stack of burn and deal half as much damage to all your allies, and then remove half of your stacks of burn. So, similar to Bleed, but it does AoE. We can start getting overcharge if we take Spare Battery here. And I'm not really worried about not being able to defend this turn, so I think that gaining charge sounds pretty good. So we're already starting with more overcharge. Ooh, we can even get more if we play Crank again, which is very good. We'll play Crank, Hair Trigger, and Blast. Once again, we don't have to concern ourselves with the auto dog. So that's good. Blast, Blast, and I will hunker down for HP. The auto dog inflicted Dread, so now Mallow here will deal 20% less damage and receive 20% more damage, which is this turn, which is really, really good. I'm going to crank that. I'm going to hunker down, and I'm going to play Hair Trigger again. And because we have 1 empty cell, we should fully defend from this attack. We should be getting fatigued relatively soon. We do need to be careful about how much damage we do to him, because if I do this to him, if I do 9 damage to him here, he'll go down to, let's consider it as though he has 15 panic. If I deal 9 damage to him, he'll go down to 6 panic, which means he'll panic when the auto dog hits him. And we do want to extend this fight for as long as possible so that we can gain EXP. So, instead, I'm going to hunker down twice. Okay, we're fatigued, so I could have just played the kick there, but that's fine. Now we're just going to beat him up. He's going to panic this turn kind of no matter what happens. which is good. And once again, we're going to accept the surrender. We don't need to be killing people, and we were explicitly told not to. We have some upgrades to go for, but let's see what cards we get. Cheap Shot costs 1 less per empty cell. Fistful, draw 2 cards and gain 2 charge for each attack card drawn. And Pulse, apply to Ricochet. Whenever this target takes damage from an attack, deal that much damage to one of their allies and reduce Ricochet by 1. This is a really, really good card. Because it helps spread our damage around. Fistful is also really good. Because it's draw and it's charge gain. And I like charge gain and draw, so I'm going to take Fistful. And remember, that immediately gets upgraded. So, before we choose that upgrade, though, let's see what upgrades we have here. Mirrored Blast, attack twice, or Visionary Blast, draw a card. Mirrored Blast seems really good. And Loaded Blast, fully charged, this costs 0. Or Induction Blast, gain 1 charge. Okay, I'm going to take Loaded Blast because we just took Fistful. And I'm also going to take Visionary Fistful. And I'm also going to take Mirrored Blast. Alright, just take her. About time. Thanks for getting me out of this mess. We got Delano. Their social boon is when you sleep, gain full experience on a random card. That would be really good if they love us at the end of this. Hello again. Glad to see you in one piece, old boy. You never really know when dealing with the rise, you know. I trust everything went smoothly. Quite. Delano has been removed from Rise clutches as requested. And how did the auto dog serve you, eh? Our trusted ally, no? Seems to work just as well as the mechs I've encountered, though the 4 legs are a charming touch. Thanks for the rescue. Never thought the boss would send an old war buddy to pull me out of the muck. Velimo is full of surprises. Our targets used to learn that the hard way. Delano loves us, so we do get Torpor-Fiend. That's really good. You get paid 70 shills, and you gain 1 medal. You get the quest bonus Restoration. Unfortunately, we don't need to heal, because we did that flawlessly. But you know, it's fine. Alright, I have another job for you. So, food fight, negotiation, or all play and no work. All play and no work has gotten me killed before. I'm going to go for food fight, especially because it gives us more money. Even though a card removal wouldn't be bad. Now, what did you do to the Barons dine like the Kodeshi dynasties of old? But for the laborers, we process some of the biomass extraction byproduct into a nutritional paste. I'm surprised you haven't cracked under the strain of your jealousy. Please, Rook, I've tasted it myself. No worse than the Admiralty field ration. Its calories and nutrients exactly what's needed to keep the workforce healthy. Unfortunately, the ingrates aren't satisfied. They've been causing chaos at the serving lines and sorting up meal breaks. A delay in operations jeopardizes the whole mission, as you well know. Velimo needs you to defuse a potentially violent situation at the cafe. In this instance, I honestly don't care for the details. The whole mess is tiresome. See that the ruckus is quelled so I can turn my brain power back to the bottom line. As you like. Oh, and I suppose you'll be wanting to requisition some supplies, but I'm afraid that's not on the table, friend. You're a contractor after all. Try the bartender over at the last stand. It's an unsavory sort of place, and it'll serve unsavory sorts like you. Otherwise, I'm sure you'll find everything you need. You always will be resourceful. So, I say it's probably a good idea to go over there and do that first. A dusty old Kodeshi approaches as you enter.
Such a second.
Your Admiralty, yeah? I can read it across your shoulders. I was once. Aerostat, if I had to guess. Compliment Pengument on his perception. They can take our youth, but they can't take our cunning. Oh, they would if they could, I'm sure. All right, well met then. Enjoy your... Do you have your squadron coin? Can I see it? Now that's quite personal. No, please, don't take offense. I'm a collector, you see. I have several coins of my own if you're up for a trade. I'm always here. I like the foot traffic. You decide you might be up for a trade, just find me. Pengument backs off, and seems content to give you your space. If there's an angle, you can't guess it. It might be good to talk to Pengument Now, looking for coins? I've got some good ones for trade. So we start with the spare coin, which is the basic lucky coin. But payment basically once a day, or once every couple days, I think, will allow us to trade our coin for a different coin. Right now, he only has common coins. The mud coin, which applies 1 composure to a random friendly argument and deals 2 damage to a random opponent argument. So this is basically better for snails. Marsh coin, apply 2 composure to a random friendly argument and deal 1 damage to a random opponent argument. Better for heads. And the sifting coin, draw a card and discard a card. So this is neutral to either, but obviously we don't get any defense or offense from the coin. I'm going to take the Marsh coin, because I think it's a solid beginner pick. Ah, yes. This one has a familiar weight. A pleasure to hold it again for sure. Pegament studies the coin fondly before sliding it into a lined case. And now he's gone. Let's talk to Hebel. The bar is well known in your network. A quiet speakeasy where folks like you can rest away from prying eyes. The clients keep their heads down even as you come in. If they're curious enough to study your face, they're clearly clever enough to hide it. Hello, barkeep. The name is Rook, and I'm simply parched. The bartender expects you carefully, nods once, and keeps the conversation nice and low. What is I should expect you? Oh god, sorry. I need to figure out what to do for this guy's voice. Word was I should expect you. I don't make a habit of helping. No, that's just Felimo. That's just Felimo. Damn it. We'll just do... We'll just do my normal speaking voice. Word was I should expect you. I don't make a habit of helping out no more than I need to. You keep that in mind. I guess that's not really my normal speaking voice. Sort of more of a more aggressive tone, but whatever. I don't suppose you could provide me with a little information? It's the job, ain't it? What do you need? Can you tell me anything about the terrain here? I like to be prepared. Grat Bog is proper miserable. That's why the Spark Barons couldn't get any rights at all, I suspect. The bog will suck up anything that falls in it, and the beast will scavenge the rest. But it's full to the brim with Vagrant Age tech, if you know where to find it. Aha! Dangerous, but profitable. My kind of place, I think. I believe what Spark Barons call tech, Hessians call antiquities. A lot of fuss over rusted old refuse, if you ask me. Used to be the cult was too mighty. But these days, the Hessians have to settle for what the Barons will trade. And the prey to their tentacled friend that whatever they get is actually holy. That's a powerful monopoly to hold. Yeah, well, there's a reason the Barons are more often than not calling the shots these days. But all the digging is done by laborers, correct? Not any of the actual Spark Barons? What, and get their fancy tools dirty? Forget about it. Labor's all contracted out. Of course, since the Barons own the land and the borders and all the shops and supplies, let's just say there's a lot of pay to dock. These days, it's almost as bad as the derricks. You mean it's indentured servitude? Might as well be. Now, I don't pretend to know nothing about nothing. But if I know anything about anything, that's what you're here for. Some of the laborers have started organizing, calling themselves the Rise. Bet you'll get familiar with them real soon if you aren't already. And what about you? Where do you factor into this? This here's the only private business in the bog. Thank my grandfather for that. I keep secrets. And everybody knows better than to ask me not to. And what if I need you to favor me over your other clientele? Feed me a little intel and maybe even a little bit our own objectives? That's not a service I offer. Come now. I'd heard you were getting too old for this game. You want to stick your nose in other people's business? That's your blood in the pipe. I don't rat out my customers. Not to you, and not to them. Be grateful. Good to know. And thank you for your frankness. Thank you, barkeep. Your warmth and hospitality will keep me going today for certain. Hold on. I got something for you. Hebel digs around under the bar, producing a lined case of unlicensed drafts. A gift, my fine friend? And we've only just met. You call in good favors. Alright, these are all battle graphs. Whenever you gain fully charged, gain 2 temporary power. Gain 2 power at the start of each battle, but lose 2 power the first time you take enemy damage. Or at the start of each turn, gain 1 overcharge. This I like. This I like. Perpetual charger installed. Very useful. And if I wanted to call in further favors, I got drinks and I got eats. You want anything other than that, you're gonna have to talk to the Jakes. They have a shop set up at the edge of the bog, at the edge of the law, for that matter. But they're a cagey bunch, so you might have to prove yourself worthy of their business. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Well, I appreciate the information. I'm sure we'll speak again soon. So Hebel here is our fish. We can buy drinks and meals to heal. We can buy cards. But Hebel doesn't like us. Like Hebel doesn't love us in the way that fish loved Sal. So we do not get a discount. Everything is still very expensive. But that's okay. Instead of heading to our mission, we're going to head to the black market because there is some value to be gained by coming here first. You approach the market, but an armed guard seeps out of the shadows to cut you off. This establishment is for members only. You turn around now and go back the way you came. I'm a potential customer, you know. What do you sell? Things to people who are members, unlike you. I didn't realize jakes were allowed in the Grout Bog. Your freedom to walk away from this without trouble is growing smaller by the minute. Slow down, my friend. I want to play by the rules. How would I go about acquiring membership myself? It's easy if you've been invited, but you haven't, so it isn't. So we can buy a membership for 125 shills. That's a waste of money. We're going to convince Kita to let us in. As clandestine as you make it sound, this is ultimately a business. So Kita has the very familiar double edge argument. Ooh, we have boosted obligation. So we can gain 3 influence. Very nice. I would like to play Blacklist, so I'm willing to take some damage here. Because the sooner we get Blacklist out of the way, the better. And we can also gamble. Nice, and we even fully defend from that. Oh, cards that are sticky stay in your hand at the end of the turn. So if you don't play them, you know, that's fine. So we don't need to have our coin on heads in order to deal max damage with pleasantries because we have influence. So that's great. So I can safely just call it here. Nice. And we got some damage out of it, which is totally fine. I'm going to play pleasantries. I'm going to play a rationale, and we'll play the grumble because it's doing extra damage. Kita clearly wants this conversation to end. So we could boosted obligation again, but there's absolutely no need to do that because we have no reason to prepare anything and we already have influence. We can defend our influence, but first I'm going to call it. Okay, we got random damage. That's fine. Let's defend our influence with rationale, and then we'll grumble and play pleasantries. So the influence won't go away because she's only doing 3 damage, but she has created a ploy, which will now do 2 damage every turn. So we do need to get rid of that. Luckily, we can get rid of it very easily. We can't... As much as I would love to play Trickery, I think it's actually better... And Pleasantries. I think it's actually better to fully defend here. So that's what we're going to do. Because she'll do damage to herself when we fully defend anyway. Again, it's perfectly safe to call it. We can't defend our influence anymore. But that's fine. We can defend ourselves at the very least. So I'm going to play Rationale. I'm going to play Pleasantries. And we could play Grumble. But there is a chance that we could get some more EXP out of this fight. Okay, no. We did not. So let's call it. Nice, we're on heads. And with that, we have won. Great. And again, we get to upgrade whatever card we pick here because we still have Ancient Warrior in effect. So drawback. Draw 2 cards. All hostility cards drawn cost 1 less until played. Head Turner. On heads, deal max damage. On prepared, gain 1 action. Basically, this makes it free. And Muck. Gamble. On snails, if you hit snails, attack twice with this card. So that's pretty good as well. We're going to take Head Turner. I think that's a good card for us. So, Head Turner, full upgrade. We can make it tall, or we could make it draw a card. I think more damage is better, because we don't really have a lot of high damage cards right now. We got Grumble. We can gamble before we play the Grumble, or we can attack twice with this card. And it gains 1 bonus damage. So it's guaranteed to do... it looks like it's guaranteed to do 3 damage which is not bad. It's absolutely not bad. So 3 damage. It would do 3 damage twice while on snails. That's actually pretty strong. I'll take that. This one is Assertive Grumble, gain 1 dominance. On snails, gain 1 bonus damage. And Lucid Grumble on snails, gain 1 bonus damage, but it destroys. I'm actually going to take that because I don't need 2 Grumbles in the deck. And we have Sluggish Rationale. Apply 3 Composure and rig 1 snails. That means the next time we gamble, it will always be snails. And Foot Rationale. Gamble. On snails, apply 2 Composure to all friendly arguments. These both actually kind of suck. For me, because I'm not really a snails deck. But I'll take Sluggish Rationale because at least I get to keep the 3 Composure application. My work takes me all over the continent, my friend, sometimes all the way to Rentoria. I'm a member worth having, with connections in every faction. You a spy, then? Fine. Conditional membership granted. But you better have shills to spell. So, here, instead of having Rake and Endo, we just have Brash, who we can buy both Negotiation and Battle cards from. So let's take a look. Reckless Insult spends all dominance, gamble, and deal 2 damage to a random opponent argument for every dominance spent. Headshot targets a random argument, evoke, gamble heads twice. So I guess this will automatically play every second time we roll a heads card. So if you gamble a lot and have a lot of heads rigged, this is actually quite good. Compromise. Gain, at the start of your turn, gain 1 action and draw 1 less card. Terrible, actually. Now for battle cards. Spend all charge, draw a card for each charge spent. Not very good. Oscillator. Apply Ricochet equal to the damage dealt by this card. This is actually an incredible card. Incredible card. I'm very, very enthusiastic about picking that. And Scatter Pulse. Whenever you gain charge, deal 2 damage to a random enemy. Also, really good for the deck that we currently have. I'm very tempted to take Oscillator here, but I'm not desperate for battle cards right now. So I'm going to hold off. Ploka also has Grafts. You're a member of the Spark Barons, are you not? I am. And this is an illegal black market operation run by the Jakes, is it not? It is. How do you reconcile that? Shouldn't you be reporting this to your superiors? I contain multitudes. So, we can look at what she's got, but we can't buy it. Whenever you spend your last charge, draw a card. Your first attack, each battle applies to Scorched. Burn cannot decay by more than 2 stacks per turn. Whenever burn is triggered, remove 1 Scorched. And the Trench Knife. At the end of each turn, gain 4 defense and 3 counter if all your cells are empty. None of those really help me. Let's take a look at this. Mylon Buffer, gain 6 max resolve. Shenanigans. Composure cards apply 1 additional composure. This is super good, and I want it. Warding Trinket. Whenever you gamble, apply 1 composure to a random friendly argument. That's also really good, and I want it. But I don't have the money. So, off we go. And because we did that, we got some negotiation EXP, and that'll make doing this upcoming negotiation a little bit easier. You step through the door and find a group of workers facing off against a solitary baron. You've already got your rations. Now take a walk. That wasn't enough, and you know it. How are we supposed to get our job done if we're half-starved? Your robot ain't here to protect you today, Baron. Seems you've arrived in time to extinguish the spark of a riot. A recently discovered fuel source harvested from underground and pioneered by the technocratic Spark Barons. I think that's hyperbolic. I don't think that's what that's actually talking to. We can talk to the Spark Baron, or we can talk to the lead worker.
Shahoma?
You're Philomo's man, right? My usual enforcer's in the repair shop, so of course the local rabble are pushing their luck today. Please take care of this so I can get back to business. Threaten Frash to stop skimming the food, but Frash will dislike us. Convince Frash to compromise, or convince Frash to back you up in a fight. Or we can talk to Vis instead. Excuse me. Turn to the leader of the unhappy laborers. Hello? What's going on here, if I may ask? Our contract says we're supposed to get 2 square a day, but this slop ain't enough. This Baron is cutting our rations and expecting us to pay him to make up the difference. We won't be extorted anymore. We can threaten him into submission. We can convince him to compromise. Or we can force Vis to leave. We'll have to convince both sides if we want to convince for a compromise. So let's start with Vis. I can't promise you everything you're asking for, but what if I could get you a little more? Enough to sate the growling in your bellies, at least. Whether you stand down then. So this guy is a laborer. So he gains defensive. He gains 2 composure whenever we get an argument. Which is great. We have boosted obligation. Tall head turner is already prepared, but that is fine. We get to play this for free, which is awesome. I would love to blacklist here for the extra name to upgrade it. I just don't know if I can afford to. Well, I can take 2 damage. Taking 2 damage is not the worst thing that ever happened to me. So yeah, we'll blacklist. This is it. I'm going to have to try to harder to convince this that. Suspicion. Diplomacy cards deal -2 damage with a minimum of 1. That's very bad for us, actually. I'll call it. Let's call it again. Okay, unlucky. Nothing I can do about that. I'm going to start trying to get rid of suspicion as soon as possible. That goes away at the end of this turn, but obviously it's quite bad for us. I don't need the influence. I don't have any other way to deal damage, though, so... That's going to go away at the end of this turn, so I may as well just do it to his actual HP. And I actually don't want to rig, so... I'm just gonna block again. Bounty. Bone Tired. When destroyed, this loses 9 resolve. Pretty damn good, honestly. Let's play Trickery. Reverse your lucky coin. Gain 1 bonus action next turn, or incept when flustered. Is he doing a lot of damage? He's only doing 4. I'll take a bonus action next turn. I can play Mirrored Grumble to do a lot of damage to him. But we don't necessarily want this to end immediately. I'm going to call it to gain some composure. We're going to lose the influence, but that's totally fine. I'm going to get him down to 1 HP. And we can still gain EXP, so I'm going to pass the turn. But we should be able to kill him this turn pretty easily. In fact, it's very likely that when we play Call It, we will win. So I'm going to play Composure first. Call It. Okay, we didn't win, which is fine. I'm actually going to play the Pleasantries then. And then I'm going to play Pleasantries again to win. So that we can get some EXP. I think we've already taken our 2 Ancient Warrior cards, Head Turner and Boosted Obligation, so that's not what we're going for. We have Pressure. Spend 1 influence. This card gains 3 damage until the end of the negotiation. Very good. Grunt. Prepared. Plus 3 damage and draw a card. Not bad at all. Decency. Gain 1 influence and draw 1 card. We're going to take Pressure because this allows us to actually spend the influence that we've been gaining from Boosted Obligation. We also can upgrade these to Decisive Call It, set the coin, or Restored Call It, which gives it Replenish, which means whenever we draw it, we draw an additional card. Both of those are great. Cordial Pleasantries, gain 1 influence, or Visionary Pleasantries, draw a card. I'm okay with either. Boosted Rationale or Sluggish Rationale, I'm going to go for Boosted. Again, we have Sluggish Rationale and Foot Rationale. We're going to go for Sluggish. Because I have influence, I'm not actually worried about heads. Getting heads or snails whenever I flip the coin very much. So I think I'm just going to go for a Restored Call It. and we're going to go for 1 decisive call it. I think 1 upgrade of each is fine. Oh, and we still have the upgrade for pleasantries. I'll gain the influence. Now that we have a way to spend it. After all, if we can reach an agreement, then the barons won't be so quick to dismiss your concerns. Not when you've shown them how reasonable you can be. Something is better than nothing, and I'm too hungry to put up a fight. We'll listen to their offer. Hold that thought. Just crack a couple skulls and then get them out of here. Look, they just want a little more to eat. Is that really such a problem? You could meet them halfway, couldn't you? So, let's see what we can do here. We already have these, but I don't necessarily need to gamble this turn, and also they don't need the XP. Let's Trickery to start with. Give your currently prepared card +2 damage until the end of this turn. We could Slight to draw a card and discard a card. Oh, and we got Blacklist already. Ooh, do I want to play that? I do. Which means I'm going to gamble twice. And I'm going to go to heads to fully defend. And then I'm going to play Blacklist. So that gets even stronger. Ah, he also has Appropriator, so he has stolen our coins. But that is okay. We are going to do Boosted Obligation so that we have some influence for pressure, and then we're going to play that. We can now set the coin if we so desire. And I think I will. We'll set it to heads. And then we will apply 3 Composure and get Rig 1. But we do need to hurry along on killing this guy. I'm going to gain the influence. Here. And that is so that pressure can be played very easily. That'll do 9 damage. Very, very good. We're going to lose the influence this turn. I am going to gamble. We've also flourished. We've also gained enough for a flourish, which is really good. Again, we're about maxing EXP here. I want to play my pleasantries, but I will take a lot of damage if I do so. So instead, I will play another Sluggish Rationale. Trickery. We can Incept 1 Fluster to make him weaker this turn, which is very good. And I think I will do that. We can set the coin. We can also gain some more influence if we want. I don't see any reason why not to. And I'll Mirrored Grumble to get him within kill range for next turn. Oh, no, I won't, because I want to defend, lol. But that's okay. The moment we draw pressure, we'll take him out. So that's fine. In fact, I'll draw it this turn. I could have played a Pleasantry before doing that, so that was a misplay. But that's okay. So we have another Cordial Pleasantries to gain influence, or we have Speculative Pleasantries, which will allow us to gamble. Speculative Pleasantries is actually quite good. I will take that. And we have a Negotiation card. We already took our 2 Ancient Warriors, so now we just have to see what we want. If you have influence, prepare a card, upright. Attack 2 random arguments, or gamble, apply 3 Composure to all friendly arguments if you hit heads. These are all pretty good, I would say. But do they actually make my deck better? because right now we have a card that just gets stronger every single time we play it, and we want to draw it as many times as possible. So I actually think pressure, because we have pressure, I don't actually want to add many more cards to the deck that aren't, like, defensive. And I don't necessarily have a bunch of... Even though this benefits from us having influence, we only have really one card that benefits from being prepared. So I think, actually, we'll decline. They're not striking or shirking their duties, Frash. They're only hungry. Feed them, and their productivity will increase. Ugh, fine. I guess they have been looking a little gaunter lately. It's settled then, isn't it? I talked it over with Rook, and I can give you all a bit more. We'll take that as a first step, but we're watching you. And I'm watching you. So much as a spoon goes missing from this place, I'll spike your food with fleet oil and give you all that stain no amount of washing you'll resolve. You leave them to work out the finer points. So, mission accomplished. Let us return to Felimo, and I think that is about it for this episode. Hey! The trouble at the cafe is over. A calm situation is good for business. I knew I could count on you. You get paid 94 shills. You gain 1 medal, and you get a bonus of 30 shills because he likes us. Now, Rook, you know damn well I didn't call you all the way out here just to rough up some organizers. I have my own importance for that. I need your particular skills. I thought you might. You want to discuss that here? No. Now that you mention it, I'd rather don't. That watering hole I mentioned earlier is a good place for to have a quiet conversation. Meet me there after sunset, yes? Then we'll discuss more. You all right to make it there on your own, or will you need an armed escort? Ah, yes, that gentle ribbing again. You forget, Captain. You may have been our leader, but I was the better marksman. It would be a shame if that required a demonstration. Felimo leaves you alone to contemplate his response. So, we can meet with Felimo again. We have some random events. Let's do these first. An Admiralty weaponsmith that knows Rook is here in the bog, or a mysterious gambler has been seen plying his trade. We're definitely going to the gun show. Rook? They said you were dead. They say a lot of things, Frizz. Some of them are even true. But never the ones you want, am I right? What are you doing here? Work in private security. Pays better than the Admiralty ever did, and I set my own hours. I'm here looking for freelance clients. Know anyone local who can pay top dollar for good weapons? Ask about the Admiralty. I hope the Admiralty's still treating you well. It is what it is. Never changes, does it? You put in your time, bust the heads you're asked to, and at the end of the day, you're lucky if all you get is scars. I imagine that wouldn't do well on the recruitment platforms. It does even worse in the mess hall. And why are you here? Unlike the Barons, to allow the outside influence. Good God, I'm dying. I'm on leave, actually, so I'm here in an unofficial capacity. Of all the places you would choose to spend your leave, you pick Groutbog? It's a working holiday. I make weapons. There's a lot of demand for that here. Remember these? You're still using those old things, eh? Us old things have to stick together. I'm surprised they're still intact. I was practically a child when I built those. Think you could do better now? Certainly. With the right parts and access to my tools, in about a week. What could you do with 5 minutes and diminished expectations? I could make a couple of adjustments, I suppose. So, we can decrease the amount of charge chambers that we have, or we can increase the amount of charge chambers that we have. So, if we're going for an overcharge deck, because we have a lot of ways to gain charge, decreasing the amount of charge chambers is good. If we're going for a defensive deck, increasing the amount of charge chambers is good, because the more you increase them, the more defense you get at the end of the turn for having empty cells. Because we don't have a lot of ways to spend charge, but we have a lot of ways to gain it, I'm going to say that we're going to go for an overcharge deck, and we're going to decrease our charge chambers. Could you decrease the number of charges? Yeah, that's easy. I can take 1 off for free, and I can take 2 off if you pay for the parts. This is super worth paying for, because you get a ton of overcharge, if you pay for it. But removing 1 for free is also fine. And we gain so much charge that I'm honestly not concerned about it. So I'm only going to remove 1 charge chamber. Alright, give me a minute. Frizz opens up a toolkit and spends some time working on the pistols. There, good as new. Better even. Thanks, Frizz. This will come in handy. It was for old time's sake. It's been nice seeing you, Frizz. Likewise, Rook. My leave's up, so I'm back to Murder Bay. Don't get yourself killed out there. It's usually the other people we have to worry about anyway. So, having gotten that good upgrade, I think this is a good time to stop. As you can see, Rook's days are much longer than Sal's. So, I don't want to belabor the point too much. But, that'll be the end of this part. Thanks so much for watching. Do all the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, whatever. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!